Hello guys, in today's video we're gonna check out the best stereo amps in the market for this year. I made this based on my personal opinion, and I try to list them based on a price, quality, durability, and more information about these stereo amps you can check out the description below. So let's get started. Dayton Audio HTA100 Integrated Stereo Amplifier. An integrated amplifier combines a stereo amplifier to power your speakers with a preamplifier to process incoming audio signals and control volume. Basically, if you can connect your audio sources directly to it, wired or wirelessly, it's an integrated amp. In this category, we love the Dayton Audio HTA100 because it has plenty of power for most speakers, and it's packed with features, including 3 different digital inputs, an analog input, a separate phono input to connect a turntable, Bluetooth for wireless streaming, and a subwoofer output. The HTA100's glowing preamp tubes and signal meters make it the best-looking amp we've ever tested, too, but its eye-catching aesthetic may not appeal to everyone. Sony STHD190 Home Stereo Receiver. Few stereo receivers are available these days, and it's been a long while since we've seen a new, affordable model introduced. Which is why the Sony STHD190 has remained our top recommendation for several years. The STHD190 sounds as good as any other stereo receiver we've tested under $200. And it has the features we consider most important. Bluetooth support, a phono preamp for a turntable, an FM radio tuner, and plenty of power. On the downside, it uses relatively flimsy spring clips for speaker cable connection, and the FM antenna uses a proprietary connector, so swapping in a different antenna, if you wish to, is harder. Cambridge Audio CX-A61 Stereo 2-Channel Amplifier. The Cambridge Audio CX-A61 is an outstanding amplifier with terrific digital capabilities. It's the latest entry in the company's CX series, and it fixes almost all the issues we had with the CX-A60 amp. You get a full range of analog and digital inputs in a beautifully designed and distinctive interface. But most importantly, you get great sound. The audio quality is lively and rambunctious, injecting tracks with real life. This certainly isn't an amp for those who enjoy reference-grade sound. If you do want something with a slightly more neutral presentation, try the Parasound New Classic 200 Integrated or the CX-A81, an 80-watt amp from Cambridge with slightly more restrained sound. You could make an argument that the CX-A61 amplifier could beat the Peachtree Audio Carina in the #1 spot. However, it doesn't have the raw power and energy that the Carina has, and we just couldn't help feeling that the price was too high. At $999, it's $400 more expensive than the original CX-A60. To be fair, if you're prepared to put up with a few extra annoyances, like the reliance on a USB dongle for Bluetooth, then you can probably save yourself some money and buy that amp instead. However, none of that changes the fact that the Cambridge Audio CX-A61 is one of the most enjoyable amps we've tested this year. Onkyo A9110 Home Audio Integrated Stereo Amplifier. Onkyo's A9 series has been a firm favorite of ours for some time. The original A9050 was featured on this list previously, and the new Onkyo A9110 makes some significant improvements. While the casing has undergone a slight redesign, the biggest changes are internal. Most of them have to do with improved amp circuitry, and circuits that reduce the length of time it takes for the audio signal to travel from place to place. The result is genuinely brilliant sound. For an amp that costs just over $300, you're getting audio quality that is just staggering. This is easily a top budget pick. And it also helps that it comes with a wide range of connections, including a phono stage. However, we do wish that the A9110, the budget model in this range, included some sort of DAC. Even a cheap one would have been nice. The lack of one means you'll need to buy a separate converter as well, although this shouldn't break the bank. It's a frustrating choice, given that the more expensive version of the A9110, the imaginatively named A9130, actually has a DAC, allowing direct connection to a tablet or PC. All the same, This is a superb update, and a lock for the best budget amp for most people. Denon P6000 NE Stereo Integrated Amplifier. If you love vinyl records, there's more than one reason to use the Denon P6000 NE to complete your system. First, it has an excellent phono preamp included, meaning you don't need a separate one. Second, it incorporates an outstanding analog mode feature, which bypasses the amplifier's digital circuitry completely. The pure, warm sound that results is definitely worth the trouble. And unlike less expensive apps, like the Onkyo A9110, there's both Bluetooth and a solid DAC included here, so it can take digital sources without breaking a sweat. If you're looking for a stereo amp to handle a turntable, and you like your audio to have some real weight to it, the PMA600 NE is the one to pick. However, this amp is made by Denon, so some design features are practically baked in. The remote is terrible, designed with what feels like no thought for the user. And while the PMA600 NE does have a couple of nice aesthetic touches, like the old-school font on the front end and the prominent knobs, they can't save the amp from looking absolutely dull. Being utilitarian is fine, but very little about this amp is appealing to the eye in any way. Good thing it sounds so sweet. S.M.S.L AD18 Audio HiFi Stereo Amplifier. Although they are best known for their headphone amps and DACs, China's S.M.S.L have produced a killer little speaker amp as well. The AD18 may be less than 10 inches long, but it manages to output a genuinely surprising amount of power, delivering more than enough juice for even the most demanding speakers. We were pleasantly surprised at how well this amplifier performed in a smaller room. While it doesn't have the grunt of something like the Onkyo A9110, it's much friendlier for those with limited space. The most glaring downside with the S.M.S.L AD18 is that for all its charms, it's still a budget amplifier. That means that the sound will be ruthlessly exposed by high-end speakers. You're better off investing in a slightly pricier amplifier, like the Cambridge Audio CX-A61, if you want to go in that direction. That said, there's a lot to love here, including a solid DAC, Bluetooth compatibility, and a handy screen. It also helps that the AD18 looks fabulous. Fosi Audio BT20A Pro Stereo Amplifier. If you're looking for an integrated amplifier that's smaller and more visually discreet, the Fosi Audio BT20A Pro Mini Amp provides impressive power, enough to drive large tower speakers. It also rises above the science project look of most mini amps, thanks to its brushed metallic finish, fastener-free front panel, and bronze-colored volume knob. But its connections are limited to Bluetooth, one analog input, and a line output for connecting a subwoofer,